Hello everybody, JaffaArchfiend here, and well, we're going to be taking a look at each of the class quests lines that appeared during Endwalker. So first things first, we're going to take a look at the tank, which is... So the class quests start from level 85, which you unlock here in Ratahan, starting during the final day stuff, but we're also a wee bit further on beyond that, so starting with tanks. So we have to talk to the Gridanian delegate, shrouded in peril. Come on behalf of the Twin Adders to enlist the aid of accomplished fighters. The small folk cower in their homes for fear of an unprecedented threat to the Twelveswood, a blasphemy. It strikes quickly and with deadly precision before returning to the shadows whence it came. Try as we might, we have yet to devise a means to track it, much less slay it. Several brave souls search for it even now, but their chances would improve greatly if they had a stout protector by their side. Judging by your reputation, I dare say you're precisely the woman we seek. What say you? Will you serve as a shield that stands between Gridania and certain doom? Protecting your room is what I do. You've made it difficult to refuse. I will take that as an enthusiastic yes. Make haste to the Adder's Nest and report to my superior. All Gridania shall pray for your success. Off to Gridania. Alright. I do like Gridania visually. Blasphemy Hunter. Our liaison in Radzatan sent word of your arrival, but I can still scarcely believe our luck. Are you truly here to help us bring this wicked blasphemy to heel? Then there is hope for us yet. I shall fetch the Elder Seeds here at once. She is leading the hunt, and I am certain she'll be most eager to see you. Oh, taking a front row seat to this, is she? That's interesting. Full glad am I to welcome you in good health and good spirits. On behalf of Gridania, allow me to thank you for rising to our defence yet again. You will forgive me for eschewing further formalities, as time is of the essence. I shall share with you what little we know of this elusive scourge. Following the events in Thavnair, we received a report that an unidentified man had fallen to fits on the road before transforming into a beast most foul. A blasphemy, we soon determined. Eyewitnesses to subsequent attacks spoke of patterns of its skin reminiscent of heavy chains, and thus have we named it Gleipnir for the creature of legend. It emerges from the brush without warning, bringing destruction and tragedy to those unfortunate enough to be near. Ere we can respond to it, retreats into hiding, leaving no trace for us to follow. The elementals cry out for us to rid the forest of this wicked presence, yet even if we tracked it to its lair, I fear besting the beast would be no simple matter. The wounds of Gleipnir's victims are tainted by corruption. We can but conclude that the fiend's fangs, claws, and horns are all imbued with a powerful poison. The smallest scratch sends it afflicted into fits, and death soon follows. Mayhap you know of the creeping death? The effects of Gleipnir's vile poison bear more than a passing similarity to the symptoms of that deadly plague. It swept through the Twelveswood many years ago. The sick found their skin covered in chain-like patterns, and spent their final moments in excruciating pain. It was long before I came Gridania, but people still speak of it with dread. Is it true the disease spared not a single hewer? Very nearly yes. Before the remainder were taken, we were able to devise a cure from the Gloomshroom. Slow though it was, the scars of tragedy could then begin to heal. Gleipnir threatens to reopen old wounds, I fear. Yet despite the similarities between the blasphemy's corruption and the creeping death's marks, it is unclear how these two phenomena are related, if at all. And just a heads up, the creeping death was considered the elemental's punishment. So back then, so hey! Both conjuring and white magic have failed to abate the poison spread. To confront Gleipnir now would place our soldiers at risk of grievous injury. Sorry, even white magic's not having an effect on this stuff? Oh dear. Forgive me, Elder Seeds here, but this appears to be urgent. What? Again? Gleipnir here struck once more, in the North Shroud. The whalers came too late to see the beast themselves, but the man it attacked yet lives. Their brains of Volgard float as we speak. Then we must meet them there. Will you accompany us? Ethelmer should be able to reprise of the details upon our arrival. Let's head off. Volgard float. Ooh. Bum, bum, bum. For now. Elder Seedseer, you honor us with your presence. I cannot thank you enough for coming all this way. Given the dire circumstances, I would not leave this to another. Where is the wounded man? Outside of the bobbing cork being attended to one of our healers. He's a capable healer, but I worry this is beyond his abilities. I shall do all my power to aid him. I, in turn, may have need of your assistance as well. I ask you to stay close, both of you. He's a hardy soul, but I'm utterly at a loss. While I manage to heal his wounds, the poison lingers. I fear the worst is yet to come. When I removed his clothes for treatment, I recognized the chains. If this is indeed the creeping death, do not lose heart. I shall spare no effort. Rest for now. We may have need of your talents again ere long. Chigos, man. Chigos. Bloody swarm of them. I came from the East Gate. Chigos are known as carriers of the creeping death. Villagers are on edge. If they think the Vilekin are harbingers of another plague, they may panic. Pray see to the Chigos. I shall remain here with the victim. Alrighty. They were near Elder Springs, a whole swarm of them like an army getting ready for war. Bring the creeping death like as not. Folk have dropped dead with no rhyme or reason. I'm not about to join them, no sir. Can run back fast as my legs could carry me. Were you bitten? I will show you to your hero if so. Not a single hole that doesn't belong, you can be sure. You best do something about that swarm, though. Would we could, but keeping the gate manned is our priority, and we have not the numbers to spare for a hunting party. By the time whaler reinforcements arrive, it may be too late. We'll do with the Chigos. The one who calls the greater number owes the other a flagon of ale, aye? Ha ha! That's a nice bet. I commend your bravery. Godspeed, and don't get bitten. Alrighty. That was a fair few of them. Twelves be praised. And you! I've come bearing a cure for the creeping death, but it's of little use against actual death. Aye, that's why I've come. I've heard tell of a man suffering from uncommon pains at Volgar Float. Sensed an opportunity for philanthropy. A touch of profit, I'll admit. What you say is true. His condition demands a much swifter pair of feet than mine. Could you bring the medicine to him in my stead? No need for payment at this time, of course. You saved my life, and one good turn deserves another. I only hope the cure works as well as purported. As for me, I'll be on my way, and give any Vilekin I spy a wide berth. Vilekin's what they call giant insects. Thank you for calling Chico's. Alas, our patient's condition has yet to improve. It is all we can do to keep him from succumbing to the poison. Creeping death remedy. Let's see how this works out. I know this medicine. It was once used to treat creeping death. Given the symptoms, it may well prove effective here as well. Let's see how effective this is. Oh, this music does not work. Does this sound good? It works upon the body quite quickly, as I recall. Hold on just a little while longer, my friend. The medicine will soon relieve your pain. I don't... It hurts. It hurts. Ah! Why? The man's shrieks die in his throat as his body is racked by violent convulsions. He then falls still and quiet, as if his breath was snatched from his chest. It did not work. Which is panic. It's striking news, that one. 12, have mercy. At the very least, his suffering is over. Had we been quicker to deliver the medicine, would he have lived? Nay, I think not. He was doomed from the moment the poison entered his blood, as will be others who do not soon gain an understanding of our foe. Let a tragedy not be in vain, but serve as a lesson. Though the effects of Gridania's corruption resembles the creeping death, it is clear that the two share little else in common. The poison burns through the body more quickly than any disease. Too deadly is to be borne by creatures so fragile as Chico's or any other besides. And that is one less possibility that people need fear. 'Tis a shame a life was lost, but this knowledge may help us ensure that others are not. Spread word, but do so with delicacy. In these troubled times, fear and despair can drive even the goodliest of souls to desperate ends. Gleipnir is the only blasphemy known to us in Gridania, for now. We must do our utmost to stop him from sowing further discord. Understood, Elder Seedseer. We'll give this man a proper burial before sharing what we discovered. Oh boy. Ascertaining Gleipnir's whereabouts is still a primary concern. Let us return to the Adder's Nest, for information shall be our most reliable weapon in the days ahead, and there's no better place to acquire it. Alright, off to Gridania. Oh boy. I can't help but feel this should be a healer. This should be the healer questline. I mean, we're dealing with some kind of plague. We're dealing with some kind of plague poison thing. Kind of feels like this should be the healer one. Gleipnir has been cited in various locales, and though we are reviewing every report, we suspect most are erroneous. Fear has a way of making one jump at shadows. It will take some time before we have determined which reports merit a more involved investigation. Until then, I ask you stay vigilant and keep your eyes peeled for any sign of the blasphemy. 86. To give voice. We have followed up on every report concerning Gleipnir, even those that beggar belief. The most promising suggest the blasphemy is currently stuck in the South Shroud. We will proceed there at once, for there is no telling when it might strike again. The Elder Seedseer is already en route to Roots Lake. Let us not keep her waiting. Alrighty, and Camp Tranquil is our best teleport point. Greetings. As luck would have it, my sister Rayo frequents Camp Tranquil. We would do well to meet with her first, for she may have knowledge of this threat that can aid us in our search. She's involved in the White Mage class quests, so which makes sense that this type of shenanigans. It has been too long, Rayo. Connie! I was afraid this situation might force your arrival. With this reunion, it was under more joyous circumstances. And you are here to serve as a protector to my sister, yes? I commend your courage. Gleipnir, like all blasphemies, is a fearsome foe that we must nevertheless rise to meet as one. For every moment is crucial. Let us dispense with further pleasantries. Have you received word of Gleipnir's whereabouts? I have. He recently ambushed a poor traveller who succumbed to his wounds soon thereafter. A tragic and increasingly common tale. No others in Camp Tranquil have come to harm, but some claim they feel a presence in the distant trees, staring at them with a malicious intensity. They struggle to find the courage to venture beyond the safety of the camp. While its victims exhibit symptoms of reminiscent of the creepy death, Gleipnir's corruption seems only to affect those who have been assaulted by the blasphemy itself. You have to confirm a single instance of it spreading from one individual to another. That's somewhat reassuring, but will provide little comfort to the people here, I think. If Gleipnir comes, any defense we mount will come at great cost. Those who fall wounded will invariably die. I am at a loss, and the people under my care can see it. They grow tense and bicker amongst themselves. Some even accused me of standing idly by while this monster roams free, as if I'm not doing all that I can. I apologize. Would that I had come to you sooner. Would there were more that I could offer you. Not every burden is yours to bear. Perhaps the elementals could help. The elementals cry out for succor as loudly as the people do. This I know you feel, Connie. Gleipnir poses a threat to all life in the Twelveswood, and as such we should face it as one. Their strength has waned since the calamity, and I am reluctant to impose upon them. Nay, as seed steers, it is our duty to first expend every option available to us and spare them further distress. I know that's it here. They're crying out for help. They're crying out for succor and aid. Okay, a bit of backstory here on the elementals and the Twelveswood. The elementals can't tell the difference between a rampaging army and a flood of refugees. And a while back, when it came to them first inhabiting the Twelveswood, the elementals went, nah, sod off, and went about wrath of godding everyone that was, roaming the woods that wasn't, a natural inhabitant of the woods. Until eventually, discussions were had, and that's where the seed seers and the hearers come in. They are supposedly able to speak with the elementals, or at least listen to what they have to say, and pass on decisions and so forth between that. Sort of a kind of going with a pseudo-symbiotic relationship. And yet, come this situation right here and now, where we could really use their help on this side of things. No, we don't want to bother them. Aye. Once we have laid low the blasphemy, the elementals will be at peace. Aha. Well then, how do you propose we go about that? First, allow me to speak with the people here and assure them that all will be well. That Gridania's resolve to weather the storm remains steadfast. No road is closed to those true of heart. I suppose they shouldn't be surprised that you begin with an earnest and heartfelt appeal. For my part, I shall reach out to Arun. Perhaps together we can find a way to offer similar comfort to the elementals. I have no doubt we will require their assistance in the days ahead. Thank you, sister. May the 12 watch over and keep you both. May I trouble you to accompany me? The presence of a storied hero would surely lend credence to my claims that the people's difficulties will soon be at an end. While you attend to that, I shall gather what information I can from the wood whalers stationed here. Pray look for me at the camp proper when you have finished. Friggin' elementals. Alrighty. If we're to convince the people they may not live in fear of Gleipnir, then my words alone may be insufficient. I do not comport myself as an imposing figure blessed with martial prowess, to say the least. You, on the other hand, are renowned as a peerless warrior who has triumphed in countless trials. Simply looking on your features fills me with confidence that this crisis too shall pass. Cheers! No need to put more pressure on me. I pray you stand by my side, that those we may speak with might be joyed by your presence. Alrighty. Caesars are sitting pretty with their guards and finery. What do they care if a beastie's running amok? They'll be fine. That's why they're doing nothing while it hunts us. We'd be fools to trust our lives to those who don't care a whit. My past time we went south. At least in old Dad, they don't pretend to look out for the common man. Oh boy! Elder Seats here. I was just, I promise you, we are sparing no effort in our hunt for Gridania. However, it will take time, and more may suffer before the beast is laid low. Nevertheless, I ask that you place your faith in me, if only for a while longer. I love the Twelveswood and her people with all my heart, and I will not let her enemy torment us forever. I understand. Man's got to give voice to his words from time to time, aye? Nothing I want less than to abandon my home. I'll stick around, for now. A single scratch is enough to spell one's doom, they say. Nothing but to wait for death to come. How can we face a beast like that? Do not give in despair, my friend. Know that I shall do all in my power to see us through this crisis. Hold fast to hope and encourage others to do so as well. I'll try, Elder Seats, dear. I'll try. I know you've placed yourself at risk leaving the safety of the city and coming here. And that means a lot to me and mine. I'll stay close to the whalers and pray news of your triumph reaches us soon. Thank you. I promise you that will not be long. I saw it. A gargantuan beast stuck in the woods with horns the size of my leg. What's to stop it from coming here to fill its belly? Gridania will do no such thing, I swear. I shall see to it personally that the blasphemy does not come within a mile of this village. Keep heart, for brighter days lie ahead of us. Truly, Elder Seats here. Perhaps I've let my imagination get the better of me. You're a beacon in these dark times. I pray you restore the peace soon. I shall. You can be certain. Oh boy. Will that be all for now, Elder Seats here? It will. I have done what I can to quell the unrest, but so long as Gridania lives, they will never be at peace. Sometimes simply lending ear does wonder, as must be the case for the Amantils, yes? Do you doubt your chosen course? Go with that one. Indeed, you are correct. Today was a welcome reminder of that truth, an important step in our journey. Mayhaps I should visit these settlements more often. Doubtless some here think me as distant as the elementals, so rarely do you see me in the outer reaches. You have served me admirably as protectors thus far, for which I am grateful. Yet until we have found and laid Gridania low, I must continue to impose upon your goodwill. You're kind of a head of state, so... Tis no imposition, Elder Seats here. You saved me on the killing fields of Cartano. My life is yours, now and always. Your life is your own to command, but I thank you for your words, and your conviction, which fills me with confidence that the path we walk is true. Even if that path takes us far afield. Did I ever tell you that, when I was a young student, I would often steal into the woods with a dear friend of mine, much to the chagrin of our teacher? Deep down I suspect there is still a part of me that yearns to wander where I should not. Oh, where? Elder Seats here. Word from the border. We got ourselves a right bloody mess by the sound of it. What has happened? Per your earlier instructions, the whalers closed the roads to all travel while we scoured the wood for signs of Gridania. And now a group of locals are demanded to be let through into Thanalan. They're terrified by the sound of it, screaming out the creeping death and gods know what else. Despair grips their hearts. If it consumes them wholly, then we may have yet more blasphemies to contend with. I will speak with them. Wild rumors fuel their panic, and with truth and compassion, will I convince them to see reason and return to their homes. If anyone can, it's you, Elder Seats here. We're doing our best to keep them calm for now. My man's words painted a grim picture. I pray you make your way to the border as quickly as you can. Right. Time to fly. Oh boy. Let us through, damn you! We're standing here while the creeping death nips at our heels. You're telling us to die. Those rumors are false. The Elder Seedseer herself sent word that creeping death is not responsible for the recent incidents. You mustn't surrender to panic. Return to your homes while we deal with the threat, and pay no heed to baseless stories. Stories? Stories? I've seen the dead with my own eyes. Don't tell me what is and what isn't true. Hearken to me, my friends. I come before you now to assure you that creeping death has not returned. Only those who have been wounded by Gleipnir are in danger, and so I beseech you to take shelter in your homes until the threat has passed. Gleipnir? The beast I saw in the wood? We have to run. It could have followed us. You saw him? Where? Not far from here. Those glistening horns, those terrible chains, reaching out to drag you down to the seventh hell. We ran and never looked back. Don't worry, it didn't catch any of us. No one's marked, see? That means we're safe, right? But say we weren't quite fast enough. What then? Its horns and claws are where the poison resides, and even a scratch would be cause for concern. Oh, bugger. Even a little scratch. Then it's too late for me? Is that why my body feels like it's on fire? You told me the branches tripped you up. You said that's how it happened. You said! Oh, heavenly winds, guide us to the font of strength. May we drink from it and be made whole. I don't feel any better. Do it again. Do it again. She's still doing it, mate. Oh. It hurts. Help me. Conjuring has no effect. There could be no mistake. This is Gleipnir's doing. Even so, I must ask you, do not lose heart. Stay strong, for if we surrender to fear, the beast has already won. I don't want to die. Please, help me. Oh, this is where he transforms. Yep! There it is! Get back! You said it wasn't... Why? Why? Liars! All of you! None of us are safe! None of us will... Oh, for hell's sakes! Despair made manifest. 12 forfend. Is there naught can be done for these poor souls? Yeah, no. Sadly not. Not but one thing I know. We must lay them to rest. Contain the threat. And that's where I come in. They are at peace. Would that it had not come to this. I was powerless to prevent it. You did all you could, Elder Seedseer. Is that what's going to happen to us? Is there no hope? What you have witnessed was the fate of those who fall to deepest despair. It feeds upon grief and anguish, and is more deadly than Gleipnir itself. But as I swore to you that we shall defeat the blasphemy that haunts our homeland, so too do I swear that despair will not be the end of us. Keep the faith and look to the horizon, for brighter days will come. As you say, Elder Seedseer. As you say. Gleipnir is not here, and so you are free to return to your homes. I but urge you to take care on the path back. We will, Elder Seedseer. Oh boy. The storm has passed, but a darker tempest roils in the distance. So long as the spectre of despair looms, the people will struggle to take any words of comfort to heart. We will see more tragedies like this. The elementals too cry out for a solution. The longer we struggle to resolve this crisis, the more innocent lives we put at risk. Rhea O said that we would need to turn to the elementals for assistance, and I know now that she was right, and so I will seek an audience with the Great One. However, there were preparations I must attend to first. I shall make the proper ablutions at the Lotus Stand. Pray return to the Adder's Nest and await my summons. Oh boy. Alright. Back to Gridania. Do. Despite our best efforts, we've been unable to prevent further loss of life. I foresee even greater hardship ahead. As we press on, we mustn't forget the words of the Elder Seedseer. We must strive to remain undaunted in the face of despair. She's preparing for her communion with the Great One. When the time is right, she will call upon us both. Until then, my friend, stay strong. This one is at level 87. The situation has worsened since last we spoke. Gleipnir grows bolder in his attacks, and the conjurers are spread thin in their efforts to attend the victims. Moreover, we are no closer to finding a means to counteract the blasphemy's poison. With no choice but to wait until death claims them, some are overwhelmed by hopelessness, becoming mad beasts that lash out at their former countrymen. Such tragedies all too easily beget further tragedy, as bereaved loved ones are in turn overcome and sharing the same horrid fate. People speak of these incidents in hushed whispers, afraid that at any moment a monster might appear within their midst. We must slay Gleipnir without further delay. Indeed. Let us hope the Elder Seedseer's efforts to enlist the aid of the elementals are successful, and that united we may at last cleanse the Twelveswood of this evil once and for all. Urgent news. Gleipnir has ambushed a party of wood whalers. They are engaged with a blasphemy near the guardian tree, where the Great One slumbers. This bodes ill. Has it divined the Elder Seedseer's intent? It is attempting to prevent her from communing with the elementals. Bah! In any event, we cannot let Gleipnir harm the tree. The Elder Seedseer bids us rendezvous with her at Sorrel Haven. We leave at once. Which gate is it? That's White Wolf Gate, which is this way. Alrighty, here we go. There's a fair few weapons on the ground here. Battered arms and armor are strewn across the ground, but there's no other trace of man or blasphemy. Oh! Oh, found the trace of men. I see. I think I know what happened here, though I pray that I am wrong. There is no sign of the wood whalers save our arms and armour. Seasoned warriors would never cast aside their equipment, but here it lies, and I see not a single body. In the face of certain death, even the bravest among us can succumb to despair. Before the blasphemy's poison took them, they transformed. Oh boy. Leipnir cannot have gone far. He may be watching us even now. Be on your guard. The air is thick with corruption. If the wood whalers succumb to a man, then we can expect a hard fight. Though I dread the thought of hurting our brave soldiers, we cannot allow the creatures they have become to roam free. Let us form 2 groups to more quickly track down and cull the beasts. Once we have finished, we shall regroup under the boughs of the guardian tree. That's 2 down. And here comes the 3rd. Laid to rest the last of the turned whalers. Reunite with companions at the Evershade. Which is down this way. Oh, the scene automatically changes to daylight for this. Interesting. Our work is done then. The loss of so many brave souls is tragic, but now they are at peace and the guardian tree is safe. Let's take comfort in that. I but pray the Great One will hear my plea. Well, let's hope so, otherwise I'm going to give the Great One a kick up the arse. Oh, that did not look good. Elder Seats, are you hurt? The Great One is filled with fear, an all-consuming fear unlike any I have ever felt. It spoke unto me, and its words were clarion. Drive the evil away. Drive the evil away. So the elementals are not going to help. It can think of naught else, and so we will not receive the aid we seek. Not until we can dispel the dread that claws at the forest's very heart. No, this was our last hope. Hello? We are not alone. Hello, beastie! Oh, you'll do just fine. There can be no mistake. This is the profane beast, the blasphemy that has mired the 12's in despair. Gleipnir. Stay back! It makes for the guardian tree. We must stop it. The poison. You mustn't let it touch you. Such fearsome strength. Come on, you wannabe behemoth! Oh, Echo, now is not the time! In accordance with our covenant, we Pajal have been blessed by the elementals. From the moment we are chosen, we are bound to act as mediators between man and nature. The most skilled among us are honoured as seed seers, and it is their duty to guide Gridania through times both poor and prosperous. I cannot say which of you will be found more worthy. In my estimation, you both have potential to become seed seers. Of that, I become more certain by the day. I don't want to be a seed seer. I never wanted to be a Pajal either. I didn't ask for any of this. Why can't I live a normal life like everyone else? Why can't I don't get to grow old? Why was I cursed with these ugly horns? I like them. And maybe we didn't choose to be born this way, but I don't think it makes us that different from everyone else. It's a rare gift, a blessing even, and we can use it to help others. If we can use it to help others, then we should. Don't give up becoming a seed seer, Connie. We'd all be worse for it. A blessing? Never thought of it that way. I suppose I just hated not having a choice. Maybe you're right. Oh, who was it bet Gleipnir is him? Oh boy. Connie. Okay, it's buggered off for now. Let's get the seed seer back on our feet, shall we? The matron is merciful. The elder seed seer has fallen unconscious, but is otherwise unharmed. The blasphemy must not have touched her, for I do not see the telltale mark of poison. Still, I am no healer. She should be looked after by those who are. I shall carry her back to Gridania. We must leave before Gleipnir returns. Await me at the Adder's Nest. As for you, you're getting a swift boot up the arse. No, I don't give a swift boot up the arse. Allow me to thank you again for your assistance. The elder seed seer has been delivered into the care of Isumiyan. By the grace of the elementals, she will make a full recovery. In fact, she has already regained consciousness, but is not yet allowed to receive visitors. We can but wait for now. God damn it, I was useless. I could do nothing while the elder seed seer faced Gleipnir alone. I was to be her shield, and I stand before you while she lies in bed as proof of my failure. She won't want you to throw your life away. Connie Senna still lives still, and she requires your protection. You You truly are the hero of whom the bards sing, aren't you? You've suffered terrible trials, yet still you stand tall and resolute. Thank you for your counsel. How close I came to forgetting the lessons of my past. I've spoken of it to few. Truth be told, it brings me shame to recall it. I fought at Cartano, not as a soldier of the Orzian Alliance, but as a conscript in the Garlean Imperial Army. Oh! Clad in armour and magitech, another drop in a sea of pitiless metal. You grow numb to the violence and the killing out of necessity. It becomes routine. Work to earn your next meal. But then the moon shattered and the dragon emerged, and when the dust had settled, I was another body clinging to life amongst the fallen. I remember staring at the burning sun above, growing weaker, wondering if the heat or Neorzin's blade would finish the job. But it wasn't death that came, but salvation. I was delivered from my well-earned fate by the Elder Seedseer. She had died to save a man who once bared steel against her people. Her kindness didn't end there. Once my wounds had healed, she welcomed me with open arms. Never did she regard me with distrust, nor did she ever make me feel obliged to repay my debt. She fought not to take life, but to safeguard it. Through our friendship, I came to see the wisdom in that distinction, and pledged my remaining years to her service. It would have accomplished nothing to throw myself against Gleipnir in vain, and even if there was profit to be found in a sacrifice, she would not abide it. Your words serve to remind me of this. We will defeat the blasphemy, aye. We will do so without forsaking that which we hold dear. This I swear. Neat. Well, that scratches a few itches in the head space there. Alright, level 88, a pact proven. Tsunami, the Elder Seedseer has grown strength enough to receive visitors. Come, we must go to Stillglade Fane at once. Boom. Elder Seedseer, it fills my heart with joy to see you in better health. I am gladdened by your presence as well, my friend. Unless you wonder, know that the conjurer has found no trace of the poison in my humours. If you're ready, I would resume our search for Gleipnir. They may be up to the task, but you are not. 'Tis one thing to engage in conversation, quite another to go gallivanting about the Twelveswood hunting a blasphemy. I am aware you are a conjurer of surpassing skill, and will not presume to gainsay your judgment, but have my wounds not healed? Those visible to the naked eye, perhaps. I worry that your strain of your communion with the Great One has taken a toll on you in ways we may struggle to perceive. The Great One is a being of purest ether, and you were exposed to its unbridled despair, its raw terror. There may be consequences. I am aware of that, but Gleipnir must be stopped. Until the blasphemy is laid low, people will continue to die. How am I to carry out my duties cloistered here? How am I to deliver the forest and its people from this despair? 'Tis your duties demand you remain. I understand your frustration, but if you were to fall in battle, if your guiding light you bear were to fade, then all Gridania would be lost. Rest, Kani. Rest and gather your strength so when the time comes, you are fit to do what must be done. In the meantime, trust your allies. Yeah. Pajal aged very slowly, which is why he still looks the same as he did when she was, childish. You are right. That said, I see no reason I cannot join in planning our next step. As you said before, conversation is quite unlike gallivanting about on a hunt. Our encounter with Gleipnir has made it plain we cannot hope to triumph over it as we are. Only with the Great One's power can we achieve victory. When the seventh Umbral calamity was nigh, the Great One committed a portion of his boundless strength to extend a barrier over heaven and earth, the Ermin Hedge. Thus was the Twelveswood spared the worst. If we could convince it to lend us even a small measure of that power, we need not fear the poison. Therefore, I believe we should pour our efforts into placating the elementals that we might earn their favor. Earn their again! Elementals are You must make your voice heard then, yes? We must show that we are not the enemy. It's just... Indeed, we must find a way to assure the Great One of our good intentions, to remind her they will not for its destruction, but its salvation. I think, too, that we must gain a greater understanding of what drives Gleipnir. It seems to bear resentment towards the elementals, the Great One in particular. Why? I have pondered this question myself. Lingering memories of the person Gleipnir once was may be responsible. Reports from Razadhan suggest this is likely the case, in fact. If we could but ascertain the original identity of the blasphemy. But where even to begin our investigation? Hello, Deus Ex Visiona. Deus Ex Echoda. You were granted a vision of Gleipnir's past, and I was there? Then I may know who he is, or was. As do I. The boy who trained alongside Kani in her youth. Ea Sura Supin. After all these years, is this what became of him? I mentioned him briefly before. Were you close? Easura was a Pajali like me, but he had never known his parents and devoted himself wholly to his studies. He embraced the role the forest had bestowed upon him, and truth be told, was a much better student than I ever was. A fair assessment. Despite your esteemed heritage, you never took to my lessons as well as he, ever dreaming of the outside world. Stealing off into the woods more times than I can count. I could not keep watch over you at all hours, not even if I tried. The elder Seedseer, a rebellious spirit, I could scarce imagine it. I resented being a Pajal. It was inconceivable to me that I could not live among the others, and I did not scruple to express my misgivings to Isuma Yen at every opportunity. Iasura was a pillar of constant support. It was thanks to his encouragement that I at last embraced my destiny and resolved to use my gifts for the greater good.
Excuse me.
We would become Seedseers together, I believed, until one fateful day when we were gathering herbs in the forest at Isuma Yen's behest. We met a wanderer hailing from a distant land, who told us his beloved was with child, and that he had travelled to Gridania to beseech the Great One for a painless birth. He asked us to guide him to the guardian tree. However, entry into such sacred places were not ours to permit, and there was something odd about his demeanour besides. With regret, I refused him, but Easura was loath to turn away a goodly stranger in need. He agreed to guide the man, despite my protestations. I ran to Isuma Yen as fast as I could, and together we made haste to the guardian tree. We found the man motionless on the ground, having succumbed to the Great One's rage, and next to him was Easura, alive but unconscious. In time he recovered and related the whole story. In truth, the man had been an adventurer, a seeker of wealth and glory, and as he had knelt to make false supplications, he lunged forward to tear a branch from the guardian tree. He was yet a child, and Easura had no inkling of the darkness that could dwell within men's hearts. He had learned the lesson that day. The price for it he paid for it was great indeed. The Great One stripped Easura of his horns, and with him the right to call himself a Pajal. I was forced to expel him from the fane. The kid makes one mistake and gets his entire life stripped from him. Christ. And this is why we have such an issue with the elementals. I never saw him again, nor heard a word of what had become of him, though not for lack of trying. Despite his hardships, did he remain in Twilswood all this time, I wonder? He dreamed of naught else but becoming a Seedseer, of a life in service to the people in the forest. He knew the weight of the responsibility and was eager to bear it. But he was deprived of that purpose by the very elementals he loved, and yet he did not lose that will to serve, I suspect, and instead resolved to watch over the Twilswood in his own way. I shudder to think what could have hastened his transformation into Gleipnir, as if his life was not harsh enough. Oh no, what if he was a creeping death victim? In our final conversation, Easura confided in me that he would search for a means to calm the Great One's rage and earn absolution. To that end, he said he would seek the counsel of the Mughals. They have called the Twelvewood home for far longer than we have, and so none are more likely to have knowledge of its most hidden workings. That comes as no surprise. He would not give up so easily on his dream. Even if the Mughals know naught of Iasura, they may be able to help us in other ways. Will you travel to the bramble patch in my stead? I have faith that they will accept you with their characteristic aplomb. Oh god, I really hope they don't. Mughals are a pain to deal with at the best of times. But yeah, so Pajal are usually born from Hure bloodlines. So Gleipnir, being a former Pajal, reduced to being a regular Hure again, who carries a poison that bears a striking resemblance to the Creeping Death. And the Creeping Death having been considered a curse bestowed upon people by the elementals. I can kind of see where his despair's coming from. Whiskerwall Coop-de-Coop. I don't want to do. Sod you. Quite a peculiar face you have, Kupo. Familiar too. You wouldn't be the self-same warrior who gave the legendary Mughal what for, would you? That would be me. Aha, it's an honor to meet you. Allow me to thank you for personally bringing that silliness to an end. Hukwapika's the name. What brings you to our neck of the Twelves Wood? Why, what a pleasant coincidence. We were just discussing how we ought to go about calming the elementals, Kupo. That blasphemy with the dreadful horns has got them on edge, and for good reason. I've had to ask my personal guard here to sleep with one eye open. In case you haven't noticed, the beast's corruption is spreading all throughout the woods. Needless to say, we've all got to stand up and put the Twelves Wood to rights. Rhea O suggested the Mughals contribute by scouring the forest for even the smallest signs of taint. Got to cleanse it before it gets out of hand, you know. Difficult and time-consuming work. But if it's in service to the forest, we'll do it gladly, Kupo. Hey, I knew you. You're the adventurer who gave me some of my finest scars. Coop-de-Coop of the Mughals Guard. No hard feelings about the whole Hail to the King Kupo bit, I hope. Not going to call for a rematch either, in case you're worried about that. Yeah, I'd, give you a good smack on that. Rhea O and the others cured us our tempering, and afterwards sat us down for a stern lecture. No more calling upon good King Muggle the 12th for us. May he ever remain unsummoned in his royal grace and splendour. Indeed, what better way to make up for past indiscretions than to serve the realm? Even now our kin scour every ilm of the Twelves Wood. We remiss not to do our part. We'd be overjoyed to have a hero such as you helping us as well, if you're willing. Something tells me you have a sharp eye for the taint we seek to cleanse. Can we count on you, Kupo? Excuse me, I came here to ask you for information, and you're asking... Oh, for the love of... Your reputation for magnanimity is well deserved. Let's begin by moving to higher ground, that we may survey the area and locate any particularly nasty spots of blight. I kind of want to see a Moogle and a Namazu in the same room. I don't want to be in that room, because both of them will turn on me and try to get me to do something for them. I want to see a Moogle and a Namazu in the same room. Just for the sheer giggles. Alright, where is it? Am I missing something? I have to actually fly up here. Oh, you have to make your way up here after all. I was worried you'd be stuck. Apologies for leaving behind, but it's so easy to forget your kind lax wings, Kupo. Now then, where is it? Okay, I'm guessing you're supposed to technically climb up this tree, but so that we can fly. There, to the south. Let us clear that festering taint at once. I'll admit, that's a new one on me. Them being up in the air for it. Can we... Get rid of that, please? Thank you. Again, this feels very much like it should be the healer kind of deal. I say that purely because the White Mage, the Conjurer / White Mage questline, basically goes like this. So, that was some fine work, Kupo. I dare say it's in even better shape than it was before. The others are doubtless flittering about stamping out corruption wheresoever it rears its hideous head. If I were the Great One, I'd be supplying our efforts. Well, insofar as such a being without hands can clap, I suppose. How goes the taint cleansing, Coop-de-Coop? I did what I could, but I swear, as soon as I finish with one area, 2 more start manifesting the fresh taint. The forest's ability to heal itself is waning, and this sickness is spreading too fast for even a legion of Moogles to manage. If we don't come up with a better solution soon... Situation is more grave than we imagined, Kupo. Oh, what do we do? We should maintain our efforts to purify the forest regardless, but since there are only so many of us, we must help the forest remember how to help itself. A brilliant idea, I think. How do we go about doing that? Well, I was just getting to back to Kupo. He has no clue. I've got it. We perform the friending. The whating? The friending? What in the name of good King Muggle Mug the 12th, may he showers of love and compassion and Kupo nuts, is that? Truth be told, I couldn't remember the ancient wight's name, so I just made something up on the spot, Kupo. But let's forget about that for now and move on to the stuff I do remember. Oh joy. It's an old ceremony, first performed when the nation of Gridania was but a spark of an idea of a random thought in its founders' heads. You knew that if they were to establish a home within the Twelveswood, they would first have to entreat the elementals for permission. So a mage and their company found and cleansed a few sources of foul ether, planting saplings in their place, and consecrated the soil with a prayer to show the forest their purity of their intentions. The elementals were so taken with display that they not only did they permit his people to settle within the forest, they also bestowed upon them their blessing as proof of their new covenant, Kupo. I remember now. Gridania still honoured the agreement to this day. For every tree that is cut down, a sapling is planted. So if we follow history's example, we can soothe the forest's pain and also nourish it with new life. That's right, Kupo. Right. Oh, but I wasn't finished with the story. Remember the mage who planted those sacred saplings? He was none other than Joran, sire of Iokpata, the very first Pajal. When they day forward, the elementals would bless a select few hewers with horns, favouring them with their fellowship. The Pajal were exalted by all the people of the Twelveswood. Even we Moogles look upon them with awe, and that's how it all began. Aha! Something wrong, Kupo? You have a strange look on your face. Leave your baby a Pajal. A former Pajal, at least. How dreadful, Kupo. What exactly are you saying? So the man you think may have become Gleipnir was a Pajal stripped of his blessing, and the blasphemy kills with a poison that manifests symptoms that resemble those of the creeping death. I feel sorry for this Eosora. To love the elementals, only to be shunned by them. To be surrounded by the beauty of the Twelveswood that know that he was forever an outsider. All for a child's mistake. Yeah, which is why the elementals suck! That despair could have easily caused him to turn. And this poison that preys upon those who bear the Twelveswood's blessing, the hewers, just like the creeping death once did, might be another manifestation of that despair. That will explain the elemental's unease, Kupo. We must redouble our efforts to plant saplings, or they might never speak to us again. Yeah, because the elemental's cocked up! Indeed. Well, first things first, we must gather as many saplings as we can. Wait for us at the Adder's Nest, and make ready for a long and back-breaking day. Oh, joy. But yeah, again, the elementals can't tell the difference between an army invading and refugees coming into the woods. So it stands to reason they can tell the difference between an honest mistake and a vindictive want. But yeah, because he made one mistake and let one person in who was not as he claimed, he gets stripped of his entire reason for existing. Did the Moogles have any insight into our problems? And the reenactment of the ceremony which laid the foundation of Gridania. A fitting plan, given the gravity of the threat our nation now faces. As ever, there is much work to be done before we can even begin. While the Moogles gather saplings, we shall continue to scour the Twelveswood for new beasts that must be purged. Let's pray the Elder Seeds here regains her strength quickly as well. For now, take a rest, my friend. 'Tis a rare indulgence these days, one you've earned 1,000 times over. Heart's true. Gleipnir has not been since our last encounter. This brief respite might be our best chance to quell the Great One's terror. Friggin' elementals. Make way for the saplings, Kupo! We've had plenty of practice cultivating our gardens, so selecting the most robust ones was a simple matter. That was the hardest work, so you can help us with the easy part. If you see a spot of corruptions, cleanse the taint and plant the sapling in its place, Kupo. Excuse me. Do it enough times, and the Great One is sure to understand that we're doing all we can to heal the force, which ought to brighten its mood. Ooh. We'll see to the East Shroud. You should have no problem taking care of the rest, Kupo. Your efforts are much appreciated. We'll begin without further delay. I trust you'll not object to my company. I dare say healing the forest is one task for which I am more qualified than most. I don't know, has your doctor let you out of the room? Well, sincere, are you well enough to leave the city? I should like to think I have been for some time. In any event, Izumi has finally grown tired of my objections and ceased his attempts to detain me further. Haha! It kinda has some benefits to being the one in charge now. Allow me to be the one to consecrate these saplings. It will be an honor to offer words of thanks to the forest for its bounty. Please do, Kupo. A prayer from the Elder Seedster herself will surely hasten the growth from tiny sapling to towering tree. Such is my hope. As Joran did before me, I shall approach the Great One in friendship, that I might see through the veil of fear that binds it and remember our covenant. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm giving it a swift boot up the arse. God's sake. Let us begin by cleansing all traces of corruption in the central shroud. To green tier, I sense the flow of ether has become warped there. Impressive, Kupo! Not even my keen eyes could spot corruption from such a distance. It is but one of many talents I owe to the elementals. Well then, shall we be on our way? Alright, let's see. Where do we need to go here? Doo-doo-doo. Corrupted air. There we go. In gratitude for your boundless blessings do I offer this gift. May it nourish you as you nourish us. At last the earth is cleansed. There is a settlement not far from here. We should tell them of the sapling. Bid them watch over and keep it safe from harm. Of course, Elder Seeds here. I shall relay your words forthwith. It will give the people hope to know that they can aid in the restoration of the Twelveswood. Thank you. And now we must go. And where does your ether compass point us to? To Silent Arbor. There something foul impedes the flow of ether. Let us hurry. That's in the South Shroud. Teleport straight to Quarry Mill. we go. The injury has begun to heal, and our next destination lies to the north. Near Hershmill, I believe. 'Tis faint, for we are far from the source. Nevertheless, I am certain it is there. Come. Actually, which one is the closest point? Or Shrouds. Volgard Flow, yeah. My jaw's clicking. 'Tis fortunate the corruption here is faint. A simple prayer should suffice to cleanse the soil, after which we may plant the sapling. I sense no other disruptions in the etheric flow, which leads to be believed the Mughals have already seen to the remainder. Indeed, the 12 squid sides with a contentment I have not felt in a long while. But will it serve to placate the Great One? I cannot say, not until we visit the Guardian Tree. Excuse me, but you're the Elder Seed, sir, aren't you? Brings you all the way to our village. Corruption that had upset the balance of ether, but that we have since cleansed with prayer and saplings. Thus has the 12 reclaimed a measure of peace. You've been planting trees? We have. The elementals have suffered much of late, and with these offerings we endeavour to raise their spirits. Elder Seeger, I've got to protest. What of your people's spirits? We who dread every step we must take out of doors. That terrible monster is still out there, preying upon innocent folk without rhyme or reason. If it doesn't strike us dead where we stand, its poison will finish the job. I know that you are afraid, that you and yours suffer still. However, 'tis under the auspices of the elementals that we may call the 12 Squid home, and that they too cry out for deliverance. Even the Great One quakes with fear for their blasphemy's continued existence. To ignore their plight is to invite greater tragedy for us all. Rest assured, however, that I have not forgotten the needs of the people. We bring comfort to the elementals and renew our sacred ties, that we might enlist the aid of the Great One in combating Gridania and the suffocating despair it spreads. And so I pray you to continue to put your faith in our guardians, and in me. Whether we could, Elder Seedseer, we've been dealing with death and sickness since before Gleipnir's coming. They say the creeping death's nothing to fear these days, but we know better. One of ours caught it not long ago. We gave it a cure, had plenty on hand, and for a while we thought it would be alright. By the time we realized it hadn't done a damn thing, it was too late to call for a conjurer. Ah? It was a sad day for us all when she passed, none more so than her poor husband Suppin. He was beside himself with grief, and who could blame him? And then came Gleipnir to compound our woes. Supin? Can it be? Do you speak of Eosura Supin? Eosura? No, Supin was an old one, but no one mistaken for us to Pajal. Supin wasn't even a real name. That'd be Alengia. His wife was fond of calling him Supin for some reason, and it caught on with the rest of us. I see. What did Alengia look like? Well, I'd say no more than 30 summers. Captain himself. Came in with nary a word at times. Though after he met his beloved, he became more of a fixture, friendly even. His wife was a sickly lass, but she had spirit. Spirit's not enough to beat the creeping death. Pity we couldn't do anything for her. There we go. There's the connection. He had finally made a new life for himself here. Thank you for recounting Elengia's story. Sad though it was, it helped me better to understand how much you all have suffered. I promise you will have cause to celebrate soon. Until then, I implore you to again place your faith in the elementals and in me. Together we shall overcome this crisis. Well, we'll do what we can. Despite what he said, I am certain this Alengia was Aesura Supin. To think that he was living so close by for all those years, searching for new purpose, and finding true love. Only to be robbed of that fulfillment too. Were he still a Pajal empowered by the elementals, could he have saved her? He would have dealt on the question, night after sleepless night. I know I would have. Mayhap in the end he came to blame the elementals for his helplessness, for her death, and in despair was consumed. I mean, you can't exactly blame the guy! Again, creeping death, elemental plague. Elementals gave him the Pajal horn thing, he made one mistake, and he got stripped of that. And then he finds love, and then that love is killed by the creeping death. It's kind of hard not to blame the elementals. They're like children with nuclear buttons. They're like toddlers. The animosity would linger, endure, and in vengeance would Gleipnir find its final purpose. We have all done what we can to show the Great One the purity of our intent. Let us hope that we will be accepted as friends. If not, give the freaking Great One a goddamn spanking! Seriously. There's only so far gentle parenting can go. I think we're past the time of that. Our supplications cannot have escaped the Great One's notice. Maybe enough to receive an audience. And if it's not, again, boot arse. O Great One, may I abide ever beneath your boughs, embraced by your compassion, grace, and wisdom. Be still the fear within your heart, and know that I am your faithful servant. Oh good, you wanted to talk this time. All feeling, passing corruption, refreshed, renewed green, flesh restored. Child of child, covenant honored, friend, friendship, peace. It worked. The Great One speaks through the Elder Seedseer. We were right to follow Joran's example. Corruption is but one aspect of a greater threat. We beseech your help to slay Gleipnir. Profanity spawn, despair's orphan, sadness and anger, sadness, death's prayer, one and all. Poison potent, wounds unmending, withering bark, no strength to share. After all we have done, you deny us. After all the Elder Seedseer has endured, she has pledged herself to you, devoted her life to the Twelve's Wood. The people cried out for salvation, and she answered. The elementals cried out for deliverance, and she answered. Only you can help us now. If you do not, then we are lost. She is lost. Please, I beg you. We beg you. And if you don't, we're all going to give you a collective kick up your backside. What are you doing here? We've been depending on the Seedseers all our lives, blame them for whenever something goes wrong, without ever considering what we might do ourselves. Aye, no longer. Elder Seedseer has gone to incredible lengths for her people, and so her people have come to return the favour. If her plea alone is not convincing enough, we will all raise our voices in support. We couldn't let them make the journey without protection. No, we couldn't let them put us to shame. We too have come to stand with the Elder Seedseer and beseech the Great One for aid. We all want the same thing, don't we? Peace restored to the forest. So please, share what you can, however little. Do not forsake us. Do not forsake her. And if you don't, I'm kicking you up the backside! Khan E, Covenant's child, walks with man, with elemental, keeper of ancient faith, unbroken, cannot, will not break faith, to man render up flesh. Then you agree to help us? Flesh, branches, take and join to oldest elders, renew bond as one stir. Raise up to heavens, covenant symbol, our staff, all join, all bloom, all peace. Oh, now we get to collect one of your branches. Oh boy. My duty weighed heavily on my heart, so heavy that at times I scarce remembered to breathe. For days and nights I worried I would be found wanting. You found wanting! Connie! It's the Great One who would be found wanting. Again, we have killed literal gods. A temper tantrum child of an elemental would not have been much of an issue. But by your faith and trust has the path forward been revealed to us. You came hither, united in purpose, and bared your hearts before the Great One. Aye, nay, Gridania is forever in your debt. May I rely on you once more? I bid you take these branches to every corner of the Tweleswood and join them to the eldest trees, that we might finally win free of this despair. It shall be done, Elder Seedseer. We swear it. Once the trees have been bound together in spirit, I shall carry out the Great One's final instruction and cast his cleansing power all across the Tweleswood. Yet I must remind you, my friends, that Gleipnir still stalks the forest. It will not remain idle. It will attempt to stop us. Go with hope in your hearts, but do not lose sight of the danger. I admit for a moment, I thought it wouldn't work. The other seeds here moved not only the parts of the people, but that of the forest itself. Oh, bugger. Oh, sodding hells. Her final task appears to be a bit more complicated than the Great One may sound, and so she must scour the ancient texts before the time comes and consult with the Seedseer Council to make sure all goes according to plan. It's just as well. We still need to wait until the others have joined the Great One's branches to the many ancient trees scattered throughout the Tweleswood. Then, of course, there's the matter of Gleipnir. He will not go peacefully as we work to hasten his demise. When he comes, we must be ready. Coconut cod chowder. Okay. A path unveiled. Impeccable timing as always, but moments ago the Elder Seedseer sent word to go and fetch you. She's already on her way and will explain everything herself when she arrives. Alrighty. The children of the Twelveswood, both Moogle and man alike, have sallied forth, branches in hand, to the far reaches of the forest. Soon their tasks shall be completed. Though the shadow of death yet looms large, they do not allow despair into their hearts. They hold fast to their faith in a brighter future. We shall see their hope rewarded, and by the grace of the elementals consign these grim days to memory. We need only succeed in summoning the ermine hedge. You may recall the Great One's words were muddled and esoteric. I believe it was instruction to carry out this esoteric ceremony in order to expunge the corruption befouling the forest, that the once tainted earth may begin to mend. For you see, when the ermine hedge last was formed, it was to protect the Great Twelveswood from threats without. The Great One acted as a guardian, embracing the woods to shield them as a father would his child. On this occasion, however, we will call upon him to nourish and revitalize, as a mother nurses her child to make them strong against sickness. In channeling the power of the elementals in this way, we can stem the spread of Gleipnir's poison, and the scourge of its passing will finally heal. At least, that was what the Great One intended to say, I believe. Yeah, that's another problem with the elementals. They don't really speak in the same way we do. So, interpretation is 90% of communication with these things. The Seedseer Council agrees with my interpretation and has permitted me to perform the ceremony. I have in possession a single branch, the final one to be attached to the eldest tree of the Twelveswood. For all that you've done to aid us thus far, I ask you accept this honour. Who better to settle the final stone in this new foundation for everlasting peace? You who have sacrificed so much for the sake of others. If we had even a sliver of your courage, we could move mountains. Thank you, my friend. We will find the tree of which I spoke in front of the Leatherworkers Guild. Just apart. That close to home, huh? Look to the boughs above, and you will see a spot where the bark has been discolored by age and ailments. There you must fix the branch. How am I supposed to... Can't mount up in a city! You ascend the ancient trunk and affix the branch of the guardian tree to the weathered bark as directed by the Elder Seedseer. You are quite the climber, and with that, all preparations are now complete. Let us return to the guardian tree, and with the aid of the Great One, deliver salvation to the whole of the Twelveswood. Right, now comes the part where it makes sense to be a tank. Because no doubt there's a whole ass ritual to protect. Yep. If it is truly Aesur's lingering resentment for the elementals that drives the blasphemy, they will surely come. For the sake of the man he was, I must try to appeal to his reason, but should I fail, we have no recourse but to fight. Regardless, this day we shall bid farewell to Gleipnir. Of course you're going to try and chat with it. And the item level is going to be synced at level 550, so no over-leveling. Dang it. Through the branches of the guardian tree, the Twelveswood has become as one. In summoning the Ermine Hedge, every elm of these sacred lands will be imbued with the Great One's nourishing ether. The forest will be empowered to heal itself, to break free of Gridania's despair. The ceremony is complex and delicate, and I must maintain focused. I trust you will do what is necessary to see that I am not interrupted. Incoming! Gridania comes. Defend the Elder Seats here. Blasphemy. Gridania. Are the elementals so deserving of your scorn? Do you hate me too for my horns? I knew a boy once, a boy who called them gifts, symbols of the blessings he resolved to share with the world. Yet the beast before me now brings naught but misery and death, marks its victims with chains to bind and condemn, to share in its suffering. I was not there for you then, but I am here for you now, to unmake what you have become. I shall begin the ceremony. Stand fast and remember what we fight for. Yep. Oh, we're going full on unit on this. Nice. Full on unit dance. Oh, no you don't. Okay. That's an interesting mechanic. I don't have an interrupt thing. Oh, I do have an interrupt thing. Bugger! To be fair, in my defense, I don't get to use it often. Oh, there we go. Interrupt you. no, you don't. No, 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 we're not doing this. Right, you do not get to die.
By the light of the crystal.
Come on, you son of a bitch.
I shall ease your hurts.
Yeah, there's a bit of a problem. He's still got a fair bit of health left. There we go. Good lord. Through sacred soil and azure skies, may your compassion flow and swell to banish the darkness. Receding terror, blissful quiet. Blessing, covenant preserved. now and always, child of child. Honor and gratitude unending. For we as well, honor and gratitude unending. We could not have overcome the blasphemy without your aid. Would that you'd been bloody quicker about it! In your everlasting grace, I pray you continue to guide we children of the forest. In your boundless mercy, I pray you forgive the lost and forsaken who succumb to despair. To you, my dear Eosura, I promise I shall never forget your words of wisdom. Ours is indeed a gift and a blessing, and a duty to our people I will uphold. Until my final breath, this I swear. Thank you. The great cleansing could not have succeeded without you. The blight has been purged, and the blasphemous beast which bore it lay low. The sacred wood that once held its breath in fear now breathes a long sigh of relief. I must return to Gridania and my regular duties as Elder Seedseer. I should be glad if you could call upon me there. That is, if I may impose upon you one final time. Thank you. I promise not to detain you at length. Let us meet again at the Lotus Stand. Boot up the arse! Boot to the head! Yep, let's head to the Lotus Stand. How about we chat with the Elder Seedseer? I was hoping for voice acting for this part. The Great One's ether flows all throughout the Twozwood, purging the last vestiges of Gleipnir's poison. The surviving wounded are no longer in danger, and have begun to recover at long last. We have much cause to rejoice, in no small part because of you, my friend. On behalf of Gridania and myself, allow me to thank you yet again for your tireless efforts in bringing Gleipnir to heal. You went above and beyond the call of duty for the sake of our people and their homeland. You were inspiring to behold, and not for the first time, I must say. Forgive me, Elder Seedseer, but with this crisis behind us, I would suggest a new course of action. Oh, and what would that be? Rest. In all our time together, I've never seen you so hard-pressed. Surely you are weary and could benefit from a brief respite. Nope, bed! I appreciate your concern, my friend, but I cannot, will not. One day, perhaps, but not this day. But Elder Seedseer. Recent events have given me cause to reflect on my past, upon lessons I once thought I had taken to heart. When I did not understand the duty with which I have been trusted, when these horns of mine were but chains binding me to a destiny I did not choose. 'Twas Eosura who taught me to appreciate the gift I had been given. Had he not been there to help me keep to the proper path, where would my errant feet have taken me instead? He was perhaps the first, but he would not be the last. My brother and sister and countless other kind souls, through their words and their support, have also helped me to continue to find a way forward, even when I thought there was none. 'Tis by opening our hearts to one another that we in turn open new paths. that we can conceive of greater opportunities in brighter futures. All who live within Gridania are deserving of these gifts, and so I must always be there for them, that together we may journey in safety throughout darkest night. Not tempted to live wild and free like an adventurer? You don't desire a life for yourself outside your duties? Let's go an adventurer route. It is not without its appeal. I recall fondly the few occasions I have travelled beyond. Our time together in the churning mists left a lasting impression. If there ever came a time when I need no longer serve as Elder Seedseer, I should very much like to accompany you on another adventure. Oh boy. Well, let's get your siblings up to scruff then. Regardless of what the future has in store, my present course is clear. So long as we Pajal serve as a bridge between man and elemental, Gridania can weather any storm. And so I will continue to walk hand in hand with my people and my patrons, along a path we discover together. I wonder what that was about. That little at our hand with the staff. What was that all about, I wonder? Though the blasphemy is no more, there are still administrative matters to resolve. If it is not too much to ask, could you bring word of these recent events to our delegate in Razathan? It has been an honor and a pleasure, my friend. May the elementals watch over and keep you. Back to Razathan! Let's just teleport. Teleport to the Hall of the Radiant Host. Welcome back. I pray you brought glad tidings. Leap near a slain. You have brought joy to me in an otherwise uneventful day. Of course, I had complete faith in your success. I had begun to worry ever so slightly when you did not return as quickly as I anticipated. I wish to report your success to the envoys at once. If we have further need of you, I pray you will answer our call. You can now die the job-specific gear for level 90 tanks. And that is the level 9... And that is the tank class quest done for Endwalker. See you in the next one. JaffaArchfiend, out.